New York Knicks. By the way, I'm in my jacket because it's a little bit cold in here. Woo! Freaking chilly. Plus, it's like 17 degrees outside. It's horrible. We have hit the dead of winter in terms of the weather. And it's supposed to snow in New York tomorrow. So this should be fun. But real quickly on the Knicks before we wrap things up here, folks. You know, it's one thing for a coach to come out and say something about a player. And listen, anyone that knows me knows I am not a Carmelo Anthony fan. I think the Knicks will never win with him. And yes, he does hog the ball. Yes, he does hold on to the ball too much. Yes, it's a fact. But let Hornacek grow a set of balls and say that. Let Hornacek grow a set and say something instead of just being a little puppet there. Phil coming out and saying that, you're the team president. You can't be coming out and saying these outrageous things. He says the thing about LeBron a couple weeks ago, causing a stir. And whether it was racial or not, that's up to you. That's up to your judgment. But, I mean, my God. You're the team president. Shut up and just do your stuff behind the scenes. You're not the coach anymore. And Mark Cuban coming out and saying that Russell Westbrook is not an elite player. Well, listen. Hold on now. Time out. Cuban brought this up, I think, last year. And now he's revisiting it because obviously Russell's having a phenomenal season. I feel like Mark Cuban has said so many stuff over the years where people just go and stick microphones into his face because they know that he's going to say something. Thing is with Phil Jackson, he says stuff as a team president and he's always putting his foot in the mouth. He's always putting his foot in his mouth. I mean, Cuban at least has some stuff with some substance. Sometimes. I'm not a big fan of other owners and other coaches or anybody talking about people on the other team. Worry about your team. And the Dallas Mavericks this year, they're 5-19. They are sucking wind. If I'm Cuban, I would shut up. But that's Mark Cuban. With Phil Jackson, he has said things that are just asinine. Like, why are you saying these things? You're the team president. And people call out these Knicks fans, well, it's tough love. It's motivation. No, let Hornacek do it. Let the coach grow a set of balls and call out Melo. Why does Phil Jackson, who's the team president, have to say it? Come on. Don't give me that BS. And you Knicks fans, please, listen. You gotta stop. I feel like Trump. China. We're gonna win big. So big, your head's gonna spin. And the Knicks did win last night. They're 103-100. They're 13-10 on the year. And I had this Knicks team as a 46-win team. And I think either the 5 or 6 seed in the East. I think it was the 5, believe it or not. So the fact that they're playing well doesn't surprise me. The roster is better. Let's be fair. But you people, you Knicks fans, the Cavaliers are kicking the crap out of you at MSG on Wednesday night. So LeBron and the Cavs get bored. And they start doing that water bottle challenge. They got bored. They're kicking the crap out of them. LeBron didn't even play the fourth quarter. That's how bad it was. And the Knicks fans are going to complain, oh, that's unprofessional. Oh, it's unprofessional. What's unprofessional is your star player, Carmelo Anthony, jawing back at the ref after every single freaking call. The only thing that was unprofessional at Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night was the performance of the New York Knicks. You're getting your ass kicked. You know what? Deal with it. And someone said, oh, if that was your Nets, my Nets get killed by 15, 20, 35 points on a daily basis. I'm used to it. They lose by 13. I'm like, wow. Ooh, competitive tonight, boys. Woo! Damn. Only lost by 13. Come on. That's what. You're in the NBA. Put your big boy pants on. Put them on. Put them on, damn it. Put your big boy pants on. I want you to put them on right now, Knicks fans. Put on your big boy pants. And stop complaining about the Cavaliers doing the water bottle challenge when you get your asses kicked. Worry about playing the goddamn game and being competitive. Jesus Christ. Damn. All week I'm sitting here producing and running the board for NBA radio. That's all these people are doing is complaining. Shut up. Can't deal with it. And while we're on the Knicks with Phil Jackson, Phil has done some good things, I guess. Porzingis is going to be a star if he's not a star already. So that was a phenomenal move by Jackson. The Derrick Rose situation has worked out. And listen, I poked fun at it. Oh, give it time, and he's hurt. And he's hurt now with a back injury. Nothing too serious, I don't think. I think he'll play in this road trip for the Knicks, about 2 games in, I think. Didn't play last night, obviously. But I didn't think that was a bad signing. Didn't think it was. You had to make the trade. Noah is terrible. That was a horrible contract. Horrible. That is a terrible contract, and I told all of you Knicks fans, all of you, that contract was one of the worst signed in the offseason. The worst. And so far, I have been right. And you've been wrong, and Noah has looked freaking terrible. He's looked terrible. Giving that guy all that money with bad knees. Come on, what are you thinking? And for 4 years? But I didn't think he had that much left to begin with. So far, he's given the Knicks nothing this year. He has been a non-factor. Noah has been such a non-factor, it's disgusting that he's collecting that paycheck. Oh, God. That's bad. Enough of that. I'm really surprised. Well, I guess I can't say that I'm surprised that Phil re-signed Melo. Because I've said it on here, I've said it on WSIA when I've been there. I've said it on MTR radio, I've said it everywhere I've been. Everywhere I have been. Everywhere that I've had a microphone put in front of me. I have said that Carmelo Anthony, the Knicks will never win with Carmelo Anthony. And what does that mean? It means win a championship. Yeah, they could maybe one day get to the conference finals. Maybe. They will never be the last team standing as long as Carmelo Anthony is on that team. Never. And you could take it to the bank. They will never win an NBA championship with Carmelo Anthony. Never. It will never happen. Ever. Ever. In my lifetime or any lifetime. Never going to happen. And you can bring in Chris Paul, which I'm saying this right now. Right now on December 10th, 2016, Knicks have a tremendous shot at Chris Paul. And I think Chris Paul goes to the Knicks. You heard it here on December 10th of 2016. Chris Paul will be a Knick next season. He will be a New York Knick. Because let's face it, he didn't grant them a meeting because they weren't a playoff team last year. And who knows if they were going to be a playoff team this year. There was talk. They're playing well, and they'll probably be a playoff team. You bet your bottom dollar that Chris Paul is going to set up a meeting with them, and he will be there. But you could bring in Chris Paul, you could bring in LeBron, you could bring in anybody. Anybody you want. You can bring Jordan back in his prime. As long as Melo is on this team, they will never, ever reach the promised land. Ever. Ever. Will never happen. He's not. He's been in the NBA for 15 years. This guy does not win in the playoffs. He doesn't win. It's all about him. Him. Me. All about him. And it's never going to change. It's never going to change. But I say I'm not surprised that Phil re-signed him because let's face it, when Phil Jackson came to the Knicks, I said he's going to rebuild without Melo. It's the first one's going to go. Melo's not a Phil player. Carmelo Anthony is not a Phil Jackson player. He's not. That was James Dolan saying, I need ticket sales. We're keeping Melo. That's exactly what it was. I think it was up to Phil and Phil himself. Melo's gone. Melo's gone. Phil puts him in a trade or whatever, or tries to. Doesn't re-sign him. And the Knicks screwed up with Carmelo Anthony way back when with Donnie Walsh. When Donnie Walsh insisted to Dolan, he's going to be a free agent. And it was common knowledge. He wanted to be a Knick. He wanted to be in New York. He wanted to play in New York for the Knicks. And they used the Brooklyn Nets. He was never going to be a Net. Ever. There was more of a chance of Helen Keller looking right at me and telling me what color, what hat I'm wearing than Melo ever being a Net. Ever. It was never going to happen. They used that. And Dolan got panicky, told Donnie make the move, and that's what happened. And they gave up the future. They gave up really basically everything for Melo. Who was a free agent at the end of the year, and they could have had him because he wanted to be a Knick. But it's the incompetence of the Knicks. And listen, in 15 years, they've won, I think, one playoff round. They've had one good team. One. The team that won 50 games a couple of years ago. This has been a mediocre franchise for a while. Knicks fans shouldn't be happy with what's going on. It's a New York team. New York deserves better. But I think they'll be a playoff team this year. I think Porzingis, obviously, I love the kid. But they'll never go anywhere without Melo. So if I'm a Knicks fan, just count down the days until Melo retires. Just count down the days because you'll never win an NBA title with him ever. Back after.